Yo, what is up, guys? How's the Requiem here? And yes, I am back to the channel. I've recently come back to doing more YouTube stuff, and today I'm going to show you guys my branded deck profile that I've been working with for the past couple of weeks, and I will have some gameplay and locals footage, locals gameplay out for you guys in just a little bit. Now let's take a look at what we have here. Let's start with the main deck. Now, almost none of this is my own, technology. Most of this is courtesy of my friend Firetank on Discord. He's helping me work on this deck, so shout out to him. Let's see what we have here. So we have the Fallen of Albaz and the two Fallen of the White Dragon. People were playing 3 of this when it first came out, with, branded Draco Tail and everything, but you really only need 2. There are so many ways to search it. And the combo obviously leads you to your two Cartesia, your 1 Incredible Ecclesia, your 1 Dogmatica Ecclesia, and your Quem is usually your endboard piece that you summon off of Titanic Lad, or you can also, it's another search target for your Nidir Servant, if you have to, as well as your branded opening, for whatever options you need. And then, of course, we play the 3 Alibar, play the 1 Shrouded Dragon for the combos in which you need to add this back to your hand after you use Branded Fusion. You play the Magnum mode, of course, to search Fallen the White Dragon in the end phase if you have to on your opponent's turn. Or just to disrupt other branded plays. There's some more Bestials in the side deck, just for the mirror specifically. And then, of course, the Mercurier. I don't play the Gold Sark, because it's another card that I have to draw, and it's a one-of. So it's like, I'd rather have Mercurier in my hand, and then banish it if I have to, with a fusion card or something like that. But that's really all the monsters in the main deck. For the spell cards, there are 3 branded in High Spirits. This card, you have a lot of cards in the extra deck that you can send with this to be able to add your Fallen in White. If you already have the Fallen in White, there's not really much reason to use this. You can really discard it off something else, because it's another card that does come back during the end phase. Obviously, 3 Fallen in the Virtuous. I think you have to play 3 of it in pure branded at least. If you're playing Draco Tail, or just some other deck that requires a branded engine, like Power Patron branded or something like that, you can cut it down to 2 very easily. But it is just an infinite resource loop. Not infinite, because there are only 3 of them, but you know what I mean. With the Ecclesia and the extra deck being able to put stuff back. Then you have your 3 Nadir Servants. This can search your Fallen the White Dragon, can search your Dogmatica stuff, send your Titanic Lads, for the lines where you can't make Granganol. It's a good card. It does lock you out of the extra deck, so you do need to be careful when you do use it. That you can't use your Ecclesia Synchro, or use any fusion cards. That's why it's usually the last thing you do in your turn, just specifically to get around that. Usually when you get hand-trapped on your main stuff, because a lot of people will start ashing High Spirits now because they know it's more important than Branded Fusion. So people will usually forget about the Nadir Servant that you can use for follow-up. And of course, you play the 2 opening. The ratios for this are 2 opening and 3 Aluber. Some people play the other way, 2 Aluber and 3 opening. It really just depends. I don't really feel like it matters which way you play, but 5 of them is usually enough. And of course, the 1 Branded Fusion, the Retribution to set at the end of your turn with the Albion, and of course it adds stuff back, so you can add back like Branded Fusions or High Spirits or openings or stuff like that. And of course, the Sword for the Branded Fusion combo, where you add your Fallen of the White Dragon back to your hand. And that can be very useful, especially when you're trying to play around Fua. You just banish stuff and add it back to your hand. Again, if you did play Gold Sark, that would be another way to utilize it. If you have Gold Sark Albion in hand, you could essentially just Albion send this and Gold Sark your Fallen the White and then add it back. And it does play around roll. That's pretty cool. I might put Gold Sark in here if I really have to, but it's not mandatory by any means. For non-engine, this is a little bit up to discretion, but I feel like 3 Fua, 3 Ash is definitely mandatory. At least these 6 mandatory in everything now. Droll, because my locals is kind of random. There are a bunch of random decks. I lost to Talonite the other day, and I lost to Mitsurugi Giski. It's really funny. I do have Super Poly in here. I did change the extra deck around a little bit. I was previously only running Secretarian and Mud Dragon, but now I do also run Garua, just because of all the rogues that I've been running into. and then 3 droplet. This could be 3 crown if you have the money for that somehow. You can also swap out the ash for spark if you want to do that for some reason. You could also just increase the deck count if you wanted to put in more stuff. But this is really the branded main deck that I've been using so far. Let's get on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, we have the 1 Mirror Jade, the 2 Albion, the 1 Lubellion, also the 1 Lanitus, and the Titanic Lad, as well as the Dogma, the dragon that devours the Dogma. You have the Rinbrum, the 2 copies of Granganol, because you need 1 to be able to send off High Spirits to bridge your spellcasters, and then you need 1 to summon. And then you have Queritus, which you summon off of this. It's also a super poly target. So if you normal summon a Luber and go effect, and they try to imperm it or something, you can change super poly to suck a light or dark and make Queritus, which is pretty cool. Next is really the next card that's just important is the Ecclesia, and then you have your super poly targets. I'm playing a Garua, a Mud Dragon, and a Secretarian. You could play the Sanctifier Dragon over one of them. The reason I'm just playing Secretarian is because of the mirror. I do not think I am the greatest branded player to ever live. So I think this is going to help me out in the mirror, as well as against Fairy Tail or any other random spellcaster deck that arises. Usually any good player will be able to out this, but forcing them to out it is definitely better than just outright losing for no reason. So that is my extra deck. Let's take a look at the side. Alright, for the side deck, we have some funny stuff. We have the Lava Golems. Usually you're siding out your Alibers going, at least 2 Alibers going second for this. It's really funny to be able to Lava Golem people. I haven't had it come up yet. Actually, I have had it come up, but I lost that game anyway because I had no engine in hand. It's pretty funny to be able to just smack someone with a Lava Golem out of nowhere. And especially with, like, the rise of going second in Yu-Gi-Oh! This format, like, with Super Polys and everything in the main deck. I feel like going second is a lot stronger than it used to be. And then, of course, 2 Bestials for the mirror. This is supposed to be a Baldrake, but I don't own a Baldrake somehow. So I guess Solnier has a little bit of extra utility. I can send Branded Sword with it, so if I need to, I can side this in for Albion, the Shrouded Dragon in the mirror, and it's just an easy side in because it functionally does the same thing. And I can send it to grave pretty easily. And of course, the Duster to Lightning Storm, just for general back row shenanigans. And if we're going first, I have the 3 Mistaken Arrest. It's the most broken side card in the game right now. It's like Droll, to where like your opponent can't add anything, but you don't have to wait for them to add once for it to work. If they try to add something, you chain this, and it just prevents it entirely. Which is kind of funny, but the fact that it's at 3 is still ridiculous. And then, of course, just the 1 called by, because I couldn't find other space for it. And then 2 Iron Thunders and a Judgment. Iron Thunder is basically a Judgment, but it's like a Mech Knight counter, so it just destroys everything in the column. It's basically just a Judgment. So I'd rather have 2 extra copies of an Omni Negate rather than like 2 Solemn Warnings or something that just will get destroyed by a Lightning Storm. I'd rather have Iron Thunder for protection against my back row. Solemn Accusation. I do not have that card. I do not plan on getting that card. If I pull it, that's cool. But even playing it at 1 is like not like too insane because there are not too many decks that you want to get rid of all their spell cards from. Maybe the mirror getting rid of a Branded and High Spirits would be nice. Like banishing all 3 copies of it. But then again, I feel like it just a very win more when you could just have something that's simple like this. Alright guys, so that is my branded deck profile that I'm currently playing in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. If you want a Master Duel branded deck list, I don't play Master Duel. I don't really concern myself with Master Duel just because it's an entirely different game. If you guys want a Master Duel profile, you can definitely go find that on your own. I don't really know that much about Master Duel or the game itself or how to navigate that format. But this is just for the TCG. This is just what I'm doing. There's no real wrong way to play Branded unless you're like making just deck building decisions that are just very contradictory to each other. This is just what I'm playing for now. If I'm doing anything like horrifically wrong, or if I should be playing something else like the Tri Brigade kit package or like the Golden Sword Soul, tell me in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.